Hi everybody, it's me, Adorable Liz 77, and I did promise a tutorial on how to do a MLP unicorn horn. Now this is the horn I will be using for my Rarity cosplay. As you can see, it's already done, so this is going to be a walkthrough of how to do it. For this project, you will need either 1 pound of white Crayola Model Magic clay or oven baked clay, preferably. I would try to use the oven baked clay because, as you can see, there are some cracks already forming on my horn, and I used the Model Magic, though the Model Magic is probably going to be lighter, so you might want to use the Model Magic even though it might crack. But the oven baked clay will probably last you longer. Okay, so you need the Crayola Magic clay, a container for water, a flat surface such as this. This is plastic. It's a mat board for cutting, but for this purpose it's going to keep your table from being ruined, or any surface from being ruined from the water and the clay, because you will need a flat surface to mold the base of your horn. And what you're going to want to do is, to get this shape, is you're going to want to use half of the 1 pound of Crayola Magic, because you can use 1 pound to make 2 horns. And you're going to want to first ball it and wet it with the water, and you're going to want to mold it, and you're going to want to put it on the flat surface and start making a cone shape with your hands and the water. The water will help it get a smooth appearance. And once you have it to the height that you like, and this is, honestly, to me, this is the perfect height, because their horns are stubby. Unless you're doing an alicorn, then the horns are much longer and more towards the traditional unicorn horn. Then I would go longer, but because if you're cosplaying someone like Rarity or Twilight Sparkle in the beginning before she becomes an alicorn, then I would stick to the stubbier side. And once you have your cone shape, you don't want a point, you want it to be smooth. So you're going to want to use your finger and the water to get the smooth appearance. And once you have the general shape and the height that you desire, you're going to want to take a brush. This is just a regular paintbrush. This is going to have 2 purposes for you. And this is what we're going to use to sculpt the grooves into the horn. Now this is really important to pay attention to, because you don't want to dig, so you don't want to do this. Doing this is a bad idea. This would just gouge into the clay, and you don't want that. You want to lay your brush like this and just start going up and around the horn. Now this will cause some grooving to occur and some indentation, and you can kind of rock the paintbrush back and forth, adjust the width of the paintbrush for deeper grooves, fatter grooves, or smaller grooves, depending on what you want, and you'll have some lines pop up where the clay gets displaced, And what you're going to want to do is use your fingers and the water to move up the clay, smooth it out, get those edges and ridges to disappear. That way you get a smooth appearance. And there's basically 3 ridges here, and I believe they only have 3. At least Rarity only has 3. My boyfriend is the one who sculpted this for me. He's also cosplaying Twilight Sparkle, but the male version. And he's already done his horn. Sorry, didn't have time to film it during the process just because I didn't have my camera on me and we were over at his house. So this is why this is a walkthrough. And once you've smoothed out the ridges and you have your grooves, you're gonna want to let that set and dry. And it's gonna take 3 days to completely dry. So you do not want to wait last minute to do your horn. You want to have this done ahead of time. And once your horn is done, you're going to want a paintbrush. And depending on which character you want to cosplay, you'll need to get different colored paint. But since I'm doing Rarity, and the clay that I used is already white, so I didn't paint over the clay with a white base. I just left the true color of the clay show through. And I decided to use this sparkly paint from Deco Art. It was $2, around $2. It's called Crystal, and it's just glitter. Now I wanted to use a glitter paint for Rarity because I kind of wanted to have the appearance that when I was cosplaying, that Rarity was using magic and that you would see the glitter and glitz of like the horn in pictures. Also, I figured it's Rarity, she likes sparkly things, so it's okay to have a sparkly horn. But if you're cosplaying Twilight, you could get like a metallic finish, or you could go with the metallic finish and the sparkles. It's whatever you want. Just have fun with it. Paint the color according to your cosplay. I would prefer to use acrylic. I would not use oil paint or watercolor to paint your horn. Just go with acrylic paint. And then you're going to want to wait an hour to 2 hours for your horn to be completely dry, depending on how many coats of paint you put on your horn. I put about 3 coats of paint on my horn for the sparkles because I really wanted to get that layered, glittered effect. But it just depends on the amount of glitter or paint you want to have on your horn. So that took about an hour or 2 to completely dry. And the next thing I bought are these snap-on pieces, and they come with the circular button snap-on, which I'm going to be using to adhere to my wig. Now, unfortunately, I learned the hard way that the bigger one works better than the smaller snaps, and I got these snap-ons in the sewing section at Walmart for $1.77, and they came in a pack of 4, 2 small ones and then 2 big ones. And the small one just does not adhere well to the wig at all, so it just keeps snapping off. So I'm just using one, but if I were you, and I would just use 2 big ones to adhere to your wig, And I glued these on with hot glue. So you're gonna need glue sticks and a hot glue gun to adhere to your Model Magic clay. Now, you really want to make sure that you have the placement of these on here exactly where you want them to be, because the hot glue will, if you try to take off the metal portion from the Model Magic, it'll rip up the clay. It'll tear up the clay and you'll have clay on the backing of these. I learned the hard way. So you want to make sure you have correct placement, because this hot glue is a little bit hot and it doesn't kind of like the Model Magic so much. But I used that, and then I took my wig, and I'll show you guys my wig. So this is my Rarity wig, all purple and curly. It's a little bit frizzy because I was messing with it. But what I did to get the angle that I wanted on here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have 2 holes because one, I was kind of hoping that the smaller one would snap on, but the smaller one does not snap on. So I have 2 holes here in the lining of it. So there's one, and that's the big one for the big snap-on, and then there's the little one. And I just took a knife and I placed the snap-ons in there, and I made them in the lining of here so they would hook on and snap on. I avoided the band because the band is really thick and I just didn't think that it would stick on. But here's my horn, and I'm just gonna slightly stick these in. So there's the first hole. And you're gonna want an X-Acto knife to help get these guys in there, because they're kind of pain in the ass to get in, and you might have to cut some hair away from your wig to get it to fit. Curse you, wig. And you might have to wrestle with it a bit. To find the holes that you had made. And you want to make sure that they're evenly spaced, and take your fingers or an X-Acto knife and kind of pressure them in, because you want the metal part to show. Then you're going to take your backing, which looks like this, and you're going to snap that on, and you want to hear that clicking sound. Once you hear that clicking sound, it just unpopped. This is another problem, but hopefully you guys can find something that works a little bit better than these snap-on things, but that's what I got. But when they don't snap off, this is how it looks, and it'll lean forward like this. And you won't have this look where it, so you won't have that weird sticking up of the horn look that some people get. I didn't want to use a headband because the headband just looked funny and it just didn't want to work. But I did notice that even though if the button does come undone, and it has come undone before, that it still stays onto the wig. So hopefully I don't have any issues at Fanime. That's how I attached my horn to my wig. And I got that unicorn angle. So if you guys know of a product that will probably work better than the snap-ons, I'd love to hear it because I honestly don't like the snap-ons. But they're what I could find that kind of works. So give me your thoughts and comments and such. And thanks for watching. Bye!